Oilers fans are fired up as it's beginning to look a lot like training camp. Of course, we just got through the Leon Draisaitl contract extension. We'll get into more of the numbers, break down the numbers, and then some familiar faces come back to Edmonton before the start of the Oilers captain skates. But before we get into all the news, all the breakdown, all the rumors, make sure to subscribe here to Oilers Digest, as 89% of you watching these videos have not yet subscribed. Lots of big things coming here for the channel at the start of the season, so make sure to join us along the ride and get all of your Oiler news here. But without further ado, cap unfriendly, yes, when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers cap future, there are a lot of things that remain to be seen when it comes to potential contract extensions. Of course, you're thinking about their future, the McDavid, the Bouchard, potentially lots of other extensions. But when it comes to the Oilers, Leon Draisaitl, salary cap resource like Puck PD, who took over for Cap Friendly, got the details of Draisaitl's contract that will see him earn an AAV of $14 million and a very bonus-heavy contract. Lots of intricate numbers to be seen here. His deal will see him earn a $1 million salary with a full no-movement clause across the life of the deal, according to Puckpedia, with a $15.5 million in bonuses in each of the first 3 years. The fourth year will see him get a $13 million signing bonus, a fifth an $11.5 million bonus, with $11 million bonuses in each of the sixth, seventh, and 8 years. Now, just breaking down the deal year by year here, you can see with the Puckpedia chart, again, the no move clause, and then a lot of intricate signing bonuses. But the deal was done, and we are more the happy for it there. While the Carolina Hurricanes signed Seth Jarvis to a deal that included deferred money, Puckpedia reported that Draisaitl's deal carries none. There was some speculation or theorization of Draisaitl potentially doing so to limit his cap hit with the team over the length of his deal, but none of it came to fruition. Of course, deferred money in the NHL, you don't really see that a lot, but other teams starting to sort of maneuver the cap, not sort of cap circumvent here, not like Vegas or Tampa Bay, but they're trying to use the cap to their advantage, and the Carolina Hurricanes with GM Eric Tulsky did a phenomenal job. And with the signing of Leon Draisaitl, the Edmonton Oilers have taken the first step of the organization's reported 16-14-10 plan. Under this plan, the 16-14-10 plan, Edmonton's top four would shoot up to 49.2% of a projected $93 million cap hit in 2025-26, then 50.3% of a $98 million cap hit in 2026-27. So a lot of cap tied up in three players, but these are three tremendous players. Of course, the 16-14-10 plan is the McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard plans. We'll get into that later on here. That would greatly limit GM Stan Bowman's options. He's going to have to convince numerous veteran players to come here on 1 or 2 year discount contracts. The bonus being they get to play with Edmonton's top four and have a good shot at winning the Stanley Cup. Of course, many players did sign, like Jeff Skinner, Adam Henrique re-upped his contract with the Oilers, Victor Arvidsson. But of course, with that, you also lose the younger players that want a payday, like Philip Broberg or Dylan Holloway. So you take some and you leave some with this plan. This plan was first reported in mid-June by the Daily Faceoff's Frank Cervalli, who told Bob Stauffer of Oilers Now that the Oilers would sign McDavid on a new deal for $60 million per year, Draisaitl for $14 million per year, and Evan Bouchard for $10 million per. He said, "That's my projection, and if the Oilers are sitting in their office with Jeff Jackson's big board that he has up there, I think the numbers are really close to that. The cap is also going to be $100 million then." Of course, projecting the cap, it's not exactly the easiest thing to do in this day and age. You never know how much it's going to go up by, but many teams, they're starting to take shots at the dark and, make future plans. This, of course, is what Jeff Jackson, Stan Bowman, and the rest of the Oilers front office is doing with these three contracts. This year, Edmonton has a great chance to win the Cup because of the four top-paid players, McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, and Mattias Ekholm, who just make $36.25 million between them, the four of them taking just 41.2% of the NHL's $88 million salary cap. That 41.2% is right in line with the amount paid by NHL Stanley Cup winning teams in the salary cap era, which began in 2005 after the lockout, to 2024 with the recent Stanley Cup champion, the Florida Panthers. The average of those teams is 40.4% of the cap going to the top four highest paid players. And we'll just take a look at the chart here, of course. In the bottom half, that would be the Oilers after this season. it would go up to 49.2% of the cap hit. And you can see throughout the years, many teams, again, 40% is the average threshold. Of course, you can see there in 2006, 2007 with the Anaheim Ducks, and then the year after with Detroit, and then many teams not really getting close to that at all. Of course, you can see the 2017 Penguins and the 2021 Tampa Bay Lightning. So it all boils down to juggling the salary cap. Some teams do it well, some teams don't do it well, as you can see with Ken Holland's work with the Edmonton Oilers, Darnell Nurse. But when it comes to salary cap, you can't win with 4 players. This isn't a game like basketball where one 5-man unit can win you the entire championship. You need depth, and when you give tons of salary to 3 or 4 players, and then the rest are just bare bone players, unless the Oilers can get veteran contracts, in which case they did. It's gonna be a tough ask. Even with the salary cap going up, you still have to take the risks on the veteran contracts. You have to cut loose, the players that obviously want more, and you just don't have any room for them whatsoever, even though you badly want them on your team. You need that flexibility, and with the 4 players, again, it all boils down to the salary cap going up. And only 2 teams, like I just mentioned, the 2006-2007 Ducks and the 2008 Detroit Red Wings, have paid their top 4 players more than 47% of the cap and still won the cup. Last year, Florida paid its top 4 players 44.3% of the cap, and the Oilers were at 43.4% of the cap last year. Of course, you can see they're back to the graph here. Ekholm is in the first 2 contracts. Of course, his contract is up after this year. And then the 4th player would be Nurse. Some players sort of juggle between Darnell Nurse and Zach Hyman being a part of the Oilers' quote-unquote top 4. I believe it's Hyman himself. Nurse, sure, salary-wise, he's a part of the top 4, but play-wise, he's a part of maybe the top 15. It all boils down to Nurse just having a strong bounce back year, and it all depends on who they put next to him too. He might feel the pressure. In past years, he has taken some sort of responsibility, but we do need to see it on the ice. And speaking of on the ice, the boys are back in town. Yes, some familiar faces and some new faces are on back on the ice in Edmonton at the Oilers Community Arena in Edmonton. With the tweet being in other news today, of course, this came the same day as the Draisaitl contract extension. Of course, you can see there players like Mattias Ekholm on the left, Victor Arvidsson in the bottom right, and I do believe the other 2 in that top right there were James Hamblin, who saw limited time with the Oilers last year, and Zach Hyman. Of course, with the captain skates that are going on underway, you can see there didn't exactly lead to the Oilers' best start there, but They battle out of it, and you can see there the Oilers arrived early last year as the captain's skates commenced at Rogers Place. This is becoming a new tradition within the Oilers. Of course, Connor McDavid leading the team onto the ice for the very first time of the year and sort of getting their feet under them before the start of training camp. And it's a very nice tradition. A team bonding experience brings them all together. Of course, that was when we got the infamous cup or bust quote last year. I don't think they'll say anything like that again, but they've been so close to the dance. There's just nothing on their minds other than finishing the story. And preseason is almost here, September 22nd against the Winnipeg Jets. That's the first Oilers preseason game. Of course, we'll have coverage for each and every one of these games leading up to the roster cuts and into the start of the regular season. Of course, you can see there are 8 preseason games, which is 1 or 2 too many for my liking. But I mean, the more Oilers hockey, the better. And some other news, the Oilers rookie tournament is almost underway. The first game against the Vancouver Canucks is next Friday, and then they follow that up with games against Calgary and Winnipeg shortly thereafter. So we're getting so close to Oilers hockey. The excitement is palpable. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Oilers cap situation. Do you think they can get away with paying 4 players a very large percentage of the salary? Let me know down in the comments. Have yourselves a fantastic day. I'm Matt.